Few countries in the world have a history as recent yet deeply marked by tragedy as South Sudan. Since gaining independence in 2011, this young nation has become a paradoxical symbol, a land rich in natural resources, but devastated by extreme poverty, relentless violence, and seemingly endless instability. How did such a young country descend into chaos so quickly? What secrets lie within its borders? And why does its struggle for a better future seem like an impossible battle? Today, Eagle Discovery reveals shocking and unsettling truths about South Sudan that go far beyond imagination. Geography and key facts. South Sudan, the world's youngest nation, lies in the heart of northeastern Africa, bordered by Sudan to the north, Ethiopia to the east, Kenya and Uganda to the southeast, the Democratic Republic of Congo to the south, and the Central African Republic to the west. Spanning over 619,000 square kilometers, the country boasts a diverse landscape of sweeping plains, golden savannas, and one of its most striking features, the colossal wetlands of the Sud. The Sud, fed by the White Nile River, is among the largest wetlands on Earth and plays a vital role in the region's ecosystem. The White Nile itself is a lifeline, sustaining agriculture, transportation, and a rich array of wildlife. This biodiversity includes one of the world's greatest antelope migrations, often likened to the Serengeti migration, drawing attention to South Sudan's ecological significance. The nation's climate is equally diverse, defined by two primary seasons. From April to October, the rainy season transforms the landscape into vibrant greenery, essential for agriculture and replenishing water sources. In contrast, the dry season, from November to March, brings intense heat and arid conditions, requiring communities to adapt their farming and daily practices to survive. South Sudan's geographic and climatic diversity shapes every aspect of life, from its breathtaking natural wonders to the resilience of its people in adapting to an ever-changing environment. This unique interplay of land, water, and wildlife makes South Sudan a truly remarkable part of Africa. Hey there, where are you from? I want to know which city you're watching our video from. Please leave a comment so we don't feel lonely. A small action like this will motivate us to make more videos. Thank you and much love to you. Water resources, a blessing and a curse. The White Nile is the heartbeat of life in South Sudan, offering both sustenance and challenges to the communities it touches. During the rainy season, the river swells beyond its banks, flooding villages and farmland, and forcing thousands of families to abandon their homes. These floods often lead to widespread destruction, ruining crops, damaging infrastructure, and leaving many without shelter or means to sustain themselves. Yet, paradoxically, these same floods bring fertile silt that enriches the soil, making it possible to cultivate crops in the aftermath of the waters receding. In stark contrast, the dry season brings blistering heat, scarce rainfall, and a dire shortage of water. Communities must embark on grueling journeys to find clean water, often walking for miles under the scorching sun. This cyclical nature of excess and scarcity creates an environment where survival hinges on resilience and adaptability. Fishermen rely on the White Nile for their livelihoods, but their catches are unpredictable due to erratic water levels and environmental changes. Some seasons bring abundant fish stocks, while others leave their nets empty. Similarly, farmers must plan their activities around the river's rhythm, planting crops that can endure either excessive flooding or prolonged drought. Herders, too, are affected, driving their livestock over vast distances in search of grazing lands and water. These treks frequently spark disputes between communities competing for the same finite resources, adding social conflict to the already arduous struggle for survival. The White Nile is both a lifeline and a relentless force of nature, dictating the daily lives, traditions, and cultural practices of the South Sudanese people. While seasonal floods can bring destruction to some areas, they can also transform others into fertile plains ideal for agriculture. This stark duality underscores the delicate balance of living in harmony with a river that is as unpredictable as it is vital. Adapting to its challenges requires ingenuity, cooperation, and an enduring spirit of perseverance. Ethnic and cultural diversity. South Sudan is a tapestry of cultural richness, home to over 60 ethnic groups that together shape the nation's vibrant identity. Among these, the Dinka, the largest ethnic group with around 3 million people, hold cattle as central to their way of life. To the Dinka, cattle symbolize wealth, honor, and spirituality, deeply influencing marriage, sacred rituals, and everyday activities. Bride prices, often negotiated in cattle, reflect the animal's immense cultural significance. The Nuer, another prominent group, also place great importance on cattle, but are equally recognized for their scarification rituals. These intricate facial markings, performed as rites of passage, signify courage, maturity, and acceptance into adulthood, cementing a person's role within the community. The Shilluk add another layer of cultural depth, celebrated for their vibrant oral storytelling traditions, rhythmic drumming, and ceremonial dances that bridge their past and present. Smaller ethnic groups like the Azande and Bari further enrich the cultural landscape. The Azande are known for their intricate craftsmanship and agricultural techniques, while the Bari contribute through communal celebrations and innovative farming practices. Despite decades of challenges, conflict, poverty, and displacement, South Sudan's ethnic groups remain steadfast in preserving their traditions. Their resilience and unity in diversity not only define the nation's cultural identity, but also serve as a testament to the enduring strength of its people. This cultural mosaic continues to inspire hope and foster a shared sense of belonging, even in the face of adversity. Cattle, more than livestock. In South Sudan, cattle are more than just animals. They are deeply interwoven into the fabric of social, cultural, and economic life. Representing wealth, status, and influence, cattle often serve as a form of currency in critical societal transactions. In marriage, they are indispensable, with bride prices negotiated in herds. This tradition frequently requires years of preparation, underscoring the centrality of cattle in forging familial and communal connections. Beyond marriage, cattle play a vital role in peace-building efforts. The exchange of cattle between warring groups is a powerful symbol of reconciliation, trust, and unity. They are also integral to rites of passage, where young men demonstrate their readiness for adulthood by acquiring and managing cattle, proving their ability to protect and provide for their families and communities. In many ethnic groups, cattle are revered and even named, with each animal possessing unique attributes that reflect its value and personal significance. Losing cattle, whether through theft, conflict, or natural disasters, can have devastating consequences, affecting not just economic stability, but also social standing and marriage prospects. Cattle embody resilience, identity, and tradition in South Sudan. They are a bridge between generations, preserving cultural practices and symbolizing the enduring legacy of the nation's people. This deep connection to cattle highlights their irreplaceable role in the social and cultural structure of South Sudanese life. Religion, language, and culture. South Sudan's cultural diversity is reflected in its rich tapestry of languages and religious practices. With over 60 languages spoken, the country boasts a vibrant linguistic landscape. Major languages like Dinka, Nuer, and Zonda represent key ethnic groups, while English and Arabic serve as official languages, bridging communication gaps in government and education. Christianity is the dominant religion, introduced during colonial times and missionary efforts. However, traditional spiritual beliefs remain deeply ingrained and often coexist with Christian practices, creating a unique religious blend. Rituals vary widely among communities, such as the Azande's use of giant drums in ceremonies to ward off evil spirits and invoke prosperity. Similarly, the Nuer are renowned for their powerful drumming rhythms, which bring communities together for celebrations and gatherings. Dance is a cornerstone of cultural expression, with styles like the yeng, performed during weddings, harvest festivals, and other significant events. These dances, combined with music and storytelling, foster a sense of unity and identity, providing solace and connection even in times of hardship. South Sudan's religious, linguistic, and cultural diversity not only enriches its identity, but also strengthens communal bonds, offering hope and resilience amid the nation's many challenges. The history of the world's newest country. South Sudan's road to independence was long and arduous, marked by decades of marginalization and civil war. Under colonial rule and successive governments in Khartoum, the North received most of the political power and economic investment, while the South was largely neglected, fostering resentment. This divide escalated into two prolonged civil wars, spanning over 50 years and resulting in millions of deaths and displacements. The 2005 Comprehensive Peace Agreement, CPA, brought a temporary end to hostilities, granting the South autonomy and paving the way for the 2011 referendum. In an overwhelming vote, over 98% of South Sudanese opted for independence, marking a historic moment of freedom. However, independence did not come without challenges. South Sudan faced immediate hurdles, including a lack of infrastructure, widespread poverty, and deep-seated ethnic divisions. Many areas lacked basic amenities such as roads, schools, and healthcare. Internal political and ethnic conflicts have since plagued the young nation, with violence and instability undermining development efforts. Despite these challenges, South Sudanese remain resilient, working toward nation-building while preserving their rich cultural heritage. Independence is seen not just as an endpoint, but as the beginning of a journey toward a peaceful and prosperous future. Extreme poverty. South Sudan, despite being rich in natural resources, continues to grapple with severe poverty. Over 80% of the population resides in rural areas, dependent on subsistence farming and livestock for survival. Yet, these livelihoods are perpetually at risk due to ongoing conflict, unpredictable weather, and inadequate infrastructure, leaving communities exposed to chronic food shortages and economic instability. Over 60% of the population experiences hunger, with displacement and a fragile economy compounding the crisis. The country's oil reserves and vast stretches of fertile land symbolize its immense potential, yet these resources remain largely untapped. Systemic challenges such as corruption, weak governance, and a lack of investment have hindered progress, leaving South Sudan unable to leverage its natural wealth for national development. Overcoming poverty in South Sudan demands comprehensive long-term strategies. Investments in infrastructure, such as roads, schools, and healthcare facilities, are essential to connect rural communities to markets and services. Promoting sustainable agricultural practices and diversifying the economy beyond oil production can enhance food security and create jobs. With strategic planning and global support, South Sudan has the opportunity to rise above its challenges, transforming its untapped resources into a foundation for prosperity and improved living standards for its people. Water, sanitation, and health. South Sudan faces severe challenges in access to clean water and sanitation, with nearly half the population deprived of these essential services. This gap leads to the rampant spread of preventable waterborne diseases like cholera and diarrhea, disproportionately affecting children and vulnerable communities. Poor infrastructure and limited resources exacerbate these issues, making clean water a daily struggle for millions. The healthcare system is equally strained, with only 2.6% of the national budget allocated to health services. Medical facilities are sparse, particularly in remote areas, leaving many reliant on international aid organizations such as Doctors Without Borders. These groups provide life-saving care, from vaccinations to emergency interventions during disease outbreaks, yet they can only address a portion of the immense need. Investments in water, sanitation, and healthcare infrastructure are critical to breaking this cycle of preventable diseases and improving overall living conditions. By prioritizing these areas, South Sudan can take a significant step toward enhancing the well-being of its population. Breaking the cycle: education in South Sudan. Education remains one of South Sudan's most pressing challenges, with over 70% of children out of school as families prioritize immediate survival over formal learning. Schools, particularly in rural areas, often lack basic necessities like textbooks, desks, and trained teachers. Many educational facilities are unsafe or non-existent, leaving communities with little access to learning opportunities. Cultural norms further exacerbate the problem, particularly for girls. Early marriages, household responsibilities, and societal expectations frequently force girls to abandon education, depriving them of the tools needed to break cycles of poverty and achieve personal empowerment. These barriers contribute to one of the lowest literacy rates in the world, severely hampering the nation's potential for growth and innovation. Tackling these challenges demands systemic reforms and sustained investment. Building more schools and equipping them with proper resources is vital, as is providing comprehensive teacher training to improve the quality of education. Equally important is fostering cultural change to promote gender equality in education, ensuring that girls have the same opportunities as boys to learn and thrive. A robust education system is not only a fundamental human right, but also a cornerstone for South Sudan's long-term stability and development. Empowering children through education will create a generation equipped to build a brighter and more prosperous future for the nation. A glimmer of hope amid challenges. Despite its struggles, South Sudan shows promising signs of progress and resilience. Over the past 2 decades, life expectancy has climbed from 48 to 57 years, signaling improvements in healthcare and living conditions. International aid organizations have been instrumental in providing essential services, from education and clean water to medical care, especially in remote and underserved regions. Efforts to rebuild infrastructure, enhance agricultural productivity, and promote peace and reconciliation are gradually laying the foundation for a more stable and prosperous future. Grassroots initiatives are equally inspiring, as communities actively preserve their cultural heritage, foster unity, and adapt to challenges with remarkable resilience. The road to peace and prosperity is undoubtedly difficult, but South Sudan's potential shines brightly. With sustained global support and a commitment to sustainable development, the nation can realize its vision of a peaceful and thriving future. South Sudan's story is one of resilience and hope amid immense challenges. From its cultural diversity to its struggles with poverty and progress in life expectancy, the nation inspires reflection and admiration. Which part of this journey impacted you most? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and stay tuned for more incredible stories from Beautiful World. Every journey brings a new discovery.